Today we'll do one new project, and we created the project 003 already in the React folder, and I will be doing the project in the React also in the JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript. So let me create in the projects folder. Let me create a new folder, project 0003. So remember, this vanilla JavaScript project, I will not do all the React project in vanilla JavaScript. Only some projects I will do in both. That means in JavaScript and React. And many projects which will do only the React is okay. So many projects will only do in the React because I don't want to make the React framework in the JavaScript, but only the basic projects we will do in both, which help us in doing some basic, which help us in knowing some guidelines in JavaScript. Those projects we will do in the JavaScript and the React. But when I will start the core React one, where I will only do in the React, those projects will not be done in the vanilla JavaScript. Vanilla JavaScript, we will only do the projects which I feel is useful to understand some of the concepts of the JavaScript. So let me do the project in vanilla JavaScript, and then I will do the same project in the React case. I will create a file, index.html, in the JavaScript in the project folder. You can also create a new folder in the JavaScript projects folder and create index.html, and we'll put some basic HTML here. Okay, let's copy the basic HTML here, and I'll delete all the unnecessary things. I'll delete all the script part, and I'll delete the title also. Okay, so just create this basic HTML structure in this project 3 index.html. Okay, so I hope everyone has created this index.html in the projects folder and the project 003. So anything related to JavaScript, we will put it here, and anything related to CSS, I can create the style part, but today's class is not for the style thing, so I will not create anything. I will just give the title random color. So this project is about a random color. Previous one was the random number, so this is a random color. So to understand this project, we need little few basics to understand this thing, and I will show you what basic I need here. So let's finish some basics here, and then we will. So since we want to generate a color, if you see, the color has the hex code of like this FFCC00. So it is the hex code, and it starts with the 0 number and ends with the F. So it can be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or A or B or C or D or E or F. So first letter can be from 0 to F. Second letter also can be from 0 to F. Third letter also can be 0 from F. Fourth letter can also be 0 from F. One second. Okay, so fourth letter can be also from 0 to F. Fifth letter can also be 0 to F, and sixth letter also can be 0 to F. This is the color which we create in the CSS. So just remember, we have to create a random color. So that means we have to create this random random code. Okay, so that is what we will be building it. Okay, let's do that now. Okay, random color. Okay, first I will build the HTML part and then we'll put the JavaScript part. So HTML part will be, I will create a div. This is the main div where I will put everything, and here I will create another div. I'll give the class name in some time. Sorry. Now let's create the HTML. And inside this div, I will create h1 div, h1 tag, and I'll say random color generator. And in below this, I will say I will create a div with I will give the class of something, maybe, since this is called the hex code. One second, I'll show you. This is called the hex code in the style sheet. So I will name something like that. I will name the class as hex. And initially I'll give some color. Maybe I'll say hash FFF FFF. So this is a beginning color which I will assign. But then when I click the button, it will change. Okay, this is the hex one. Now here I will create another div with class buttons. Right now it's only one button, but the main class is the buttons. Sometimes we have more than one button, but right now here it is only one button. I will create a button and I will give the class name of generate. Okay, and here I will say generate color. Okay, so this is what the HTML looks like. There's no more HTML. Let's see how it looks in the browser, and then we will add the JavaScript for it. Okay, let me show you how the HTML looks. Okay, so random color generator, it's FFF, and it's saying generate color. Right now, if I click the generate color, nothing happens. Okay, so we need to build something like that. That if I click the button, a random color should be generated and update this value here. Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute to finish this div part. Since the top div does nothing, so let's delete the top div. We will only put this part. Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute to finish this HTML code. Let me know when it's done. Okay, okay, done. Okay, says it done. Okay. Now we will put the JavaScript code to do our thing. So to put the JavaScript part, I want to show you some basic stuff, and which we will see some of the basic stuff before we do this stuff kind of thing. So one of the stuff which we need to understand to create the random color is, first we need to understand. So let's say if I have a number, for example, number 12, okay, or number 12. Now if I want to convert this number 12 to hex code, since it is hex code, this hash FFF, sorry, hash FFFFF, this is the hex code. So each is the number from 0 to F. So we need to create something, the hex number. So if I have a decimal number, for example, var number equal to 12. Now if I want to convert this number to the hex value, that is the 16-digit value, I can say num. We did this when we were doing binary conversion. So if I say num to a string, and if I pass the number, for the hex code we need to pass 16. Okay, for the binary we need to pass 2. So when I say num to a string, it will get converted into C. So number 12 get converted into the C, because 12 is a decimal number and C is the hex number. So whenever we want to convert a decimal number to the hex number, we will use this method. So number to a string and we pass 16. What will happen if I pass 2? It will convert to binary number. So this is a binary number. What will happen if I pass 8 number? When I pass 8, it is the octal number. So 12 number is converted to octal number and it gives me the 14. But we are not concerned with the binary number here. We are not concerned with the octal number here. We want to create the hex code. And hex code is, so to create the hex, we will have to pass the 16 number here. So whatever number is there, if we want to convert it into the hex value, we will put 16 here and put it inside the toString function. Then the number will be converted into the hex number. So this is the one thing which we need to understand. Okay, let me write down this part. So what things we need to understand? So I'll say basics. In the basics, I will put first thing which we have to understand. Decimal to hex, we use this one. Number to a string, we use this one. Okay, we did this when we were doing the conversion, binary conversion, long back. Okay. Second thing which we need to understand is, if we have the string and we need to take the part of the string. If we have the string, for example, if we have the string like, I will put one string, var str equal to, var str equal to, for example, Mozilla. So now what I have to do, I have to take the part of the string, for example, only M or MOZ. We did the slice to do that when we were doing the array part kind of thing. Okay, but here in the string, we have one more thing we can do here. Okay, what is the one thing we can do here? Is like this. I will say str dot substring. Substring is taking the part of the string, and we have in the array we have slice and splice. In the string we have many others like substr, substring, many others are there. So here we will be using the substring, and the substring I will pass start parameter and the end parameter. So when I say 0 and 1, it will give me the 1. If I do 0 and 4, it will give me Moz. Or if I do 1 to 4, it will give me Oz. So when I did 4, so it 0, 1, 2, 3, it doesn't take the 4, it goes 1 below the 4. So it is going to 0, 1, 1, 2, and 3 till 3. It doesn't include the fourth part, that is the L. Okay, that is how substring work. So we can put the start parameter and end parameter to get the part of this Mozilla. What will happen if I want to take only ILLA? So if I want to take ILLA, I means 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I have to pass 3 and we have to pass 3 here and till A we have to go. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have to put 7 here. So it will take ILLA. So depend on what part of the string I want, I will use the substring with the start index and the end index. So if you pass 0 and 2, let's pass 0 and 2. So we get MO, not M. 0 and 2, we'll get 0 and MO. So it will start with 0 and end with 2. 2 means 2 is not included. So Z is not included, it will give MO. Okay, so let's add one more thing. To get part of substring, we use str.substring and we give the start index and the end index. So these are the two things which will be required in this project. That's why I explained these two things. And now we will do our coding part. Okay, so the first thing is I want to do something when someone will click this button. So let's write down our variable constant button is equal to document dot query selector. So whenever we want to select something, we use always the query selector. And in the query selector, I have to tell what I want to take. I want to take the generate. So generate is here. Since it is class, I will put the dot here and I'm taking the generate. So whenever I want to manipulate this button, I will use this variable. So whenever someone click this button, I want to change this part, this hex part. So I have to take another variable also where I will say hex equal to document dot query selector and I will say hex dot hex. Okay, so we are taking hex also and here we are taking generate. Okay, now I have to put some event listener on the button. I will do button dot add event listener. What I want to do when someone will click it. Then I have to call the function. I will create arrow function. Okay, so when someone will click this button, I will go inside this function and here I have to generate the random color. Okay, random color. So to generate the random color, I will create a function. Okay, function will be generate color, random color. Before I write down the random color, you write down this part, basics, and this button and this event listener. And once you're done, I will write down the code for generate random color. I'll give you 1 minute to finish this one.
Hey, Daddy.
Okay, I hope everyone has finished these 4 lines of the code. So let's write down the random color method and pay attention to this, how we are creating the random color. So first I will create a random number. So it will be constant random is equal to math.random. And this random will be from 0 to 1 number, but 1 is not included. So it will be less than 1. So any number between 0 to 1, but 1 is not included. So let's see what random is. Okay, so when someone will call this function, I'll call this function here, for example. Though this is not the right place, I will change it, but for now I am calling it here. So once someone will click the generate button, I call this event listener and this function is called, and I will see what is the random number it is calling. So now what I will do, I will convert this random number, random to a string. I will convert this random number to a string, but this random number will be in the hex format. So I will say random dot to a string and I will put 16 because I want to convert it into the hex number. That's why I want to convert it into 16. And now I will see what is this random to a string is. Okay, let's take this code and then we'll go further. So I'll refresh it. Okay, I'll click generate color and it's saying random number is 0.717999 blah 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 blah. And here random string is 0.B7CE24AB724DE. So if you see, this is in the hex format. Though 0 point is there, but rest of the number is the hex format, which we can use in the color coding. Let's try again. I generate color. This is 0.54 and it is converted into the hex format. And this is a big digit of many characters, but we want only how many characters to create the color code? Can anyone tell me how many characters we need to create the color code? 6, right? So everybody has given me the right answer, 6. So we have to take only the 6 character, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till here, and we don't need after that. So to create this, to get this part, we will use the substring part and to get the part of it. So what I will do here, I will say constant random color is equal to, so I will say I have random string and I will do substring, and in the substring I have to pass the start index and end index. So if you see, start index should be after dot. So that means I don't need these first 2 characters. So I need from the 0, 1 I don't need. I need from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want till this one, 7 number. Since I want 7 number, I will create the end index like this. I will say start from the second index and end till 8 index, because 8 will not be included. Okay, so I want till 7. That's why I put here 8. Now we will see what the random color is there. Okay, let's see now this part. If I do generate color, okay, console.log. So I get random color this one. I get random color this one. I get random color this one. But in style sheet, I need hash before it. So we need to add the hash before it. So I will say hash plus random color. Now let's see what it shows. I'm getting hash this color, and next time I'm getting different color. Next time I'm getting different color. Next time I'm getting different. So every time I'm getting different color. I'll delete all the console.log. I don't need, and I'll return this random color. Random color is returned. Now once we got this random color, we need to update the hex part with this one. So let's update the hex part now with this random color which we got. So here I will say constant random color. I can keep the name same. I can change it also. It's up to me. I can keep the name same or I can change it. Now once I get the random color, I will say hex dot inner HTML is equal to random color, or make it color. Let's change the name. So I made this hex dot inner HTML to the color. Let's see now. Okay, so I'm getting the random color here. Now what I will do, I will also change the color of the background of the body. So I'll say document dot body dot style dot background color is equal to color. So in addition to changing the hex code here, I will also change the background of the whole body. So to change the style of body, I will use document dot body dot style, and whatever property I want to change, I will say dot that property, and I will put the value of that one. So this is how we change the style sheet of any element. We can take any element, but right now we are taking the element of the body. Now let's see. So if I click generate color, you will see background is also changing. It's coming random color and it's giving color to the background. Okay, so that's all it is. I'm putting it here only in random color, and I'm doing when someone clicks the button. So just finish this function and finish this part, and let me know when it's done. So do this and check in the browser, is it working? Then we'll go and do same thing in the React. And I will try to copy from here and put it there. Okay. So let's do this same thing in the React one. And I already created the project 003 and everyone might have created on that day. I told you to create that one. And here I'll go to project 3 and I'll say npm start. Okay. So in the project 3, so we will be copying pasting from this to there. So make sure you also copy paste. And I have the app.js. I will delete everything in the app.js file. Only I'll keep div here. And I don't need the CSS, but I need import React from React. This is the code we will add. In the new version, this is not there. So we need to add it. In the old version of the React, this was by default, it was done like this. But in the new version of the React, it's not included. We need to add manually. Okay, so I'll give some text, hello, blah, 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 and let's see in the browser. Okay, so what we have to do, let me show you the page. 1 second. This is my React part. This is the non-React one. Let's do same thing in the React. Okay. So first thing is I want to put the HTML part. So I'll go here and I'll copy the HTML part and paste it here. With the class, I will rename it to class name because in React we don't allow class. So I'll change all the class with the class name. So this is my HTML part. Let's see that in here. So this margin is automatically assigned using the index.css file. In that index.css file, I can delete this CSS part, then it will be like same thing as this. This has little bigger font, and might be something is adding that font. Okay, so I don't care about font right now. Otherwise, I can dig and see what things is changing the font little bit. Here it's different font, and here it is little bigger font. Okay, so don't worry about the font right now. Okay, somewhere I missed the class name. Let's see where is the class name. Yeah, this is fine. Let's refresh it. Okay, now I'm not getting this error. So this is the normal vanilla JavaScript and this is the React one. So I copied the HTML part. Now let's go and I will just put this part here in the top so that we know what we are trying to do with. Okay, now let's create this function and I will put it here in the top. We don't need this function inside the app because this is the generic function to create the random color. So we don't need it inside it. Only this one is giving me the warning sign that since I am returning this random color, why we are assigning to the variable, we can directly return this one. So I can directly return this one. I can delete this line. Okay. So directly whatever value I want to return, I will return that value immediately rather than creating it in the variable. So this is a generic function. We don't need it in the app. We can put it outside the app. Okay. So this is the second part which we did. Okay, now when someone click this button, I want to change the color here and also the background body. Forget about body right now. Just we'll concentrate on this part right now. Since we have to change it, when I click the button, what variable shall I create? Is it a normal variable or is it a state variable? It's the state variable, right? So what I will do, I will create a state variable. So I'll say constant. Since whenever we want to create a variable with changes, we need to use a state variable. So here I will create a state variable by saying hex. And to update the variable, I will use a function called a state hex. This is the way we create a state variable. If you don't know, you can go in my past lecture to understand how to create a state variable. And I will say react.useState, and I will give the initial value of the state, that is hash FFF. This is the initial value. So to create the state variable, we use this format. We give the variable name and the function to update this variable value. So this is how we do create a state variable. So whenever someone will click this button, we will call this function and we will update the hex value. Now we have to use this variable inside this part. I'll just replace this with the variable hex. So now whatever variable I created here, state variable, I am inserting it here, because now variable will come from here and that variable will be displayed here. So whatever value of the hex will be, it will display it here. So whenever we will change the color, and we will call this function to update this variable, and then new variable will be displayed, new value will be displayed here. Okay, so this is the hex value. And now I will, on the button, I will call on click. So I will say on click equal to, I will call a object, and here I will put the arrow function. So on click we have to put the function. I can create a function here, function, for example this one, and I can call this function here on the click, or I can directly create a function here. So let's create a function here and we will pass here. So I'll say handle click. Maybe my function name is handle click, and I'll call this handle click when someone will click the generate color. So both are good. I can create function here, or I can create function here and call it here. So either of them is fine. So now what I did, I create a function here and I'm calling it here. So when someone will click this button, I will be inside this function, and here I will do my all the logic here. So here first thing I will say, I will have to create a random color. So first thing I will say color equal to random color. So we got the random color in this variable. Now I will update this hex value with this color. So to update the hex value, we will use this function, and I will pass the color here. So now what will happen? Whenever someone will click this button, this function will be called. Inside this function, we generate a random color and we update the hex value with the new color. Let's see how it works till now. So I will refresh the page. I'll generate color. So I'm getting the color which I am updating here. See, this new color is coming here. Okay, so here I'm getting the color. Now I have to change the body. So to change the color of the body, we can use directly the vanilla JavaScript, because body is everywhere. We don't need any other variable or any React logic. I can directly call the document.body.background color. This is the normal vanilla JavaScript. In React, we can always use the normal vanilla JavaScript anywhere where we want. And since it is attached to body, and we are not accessing body here, so that's the reason we can directly access the body with the vanilla JavaScript code. So I can use the vanilla this and update the color of the body. Here I am changing the random color in React. Okay, so this is how we do in the React. So everyone write down this code and see if it is working, or you are getting any error, something problem. I'll give you 5 minutes to finish this. So this random color, can be any color. So you don't have red blue color. If you want to display red blue, then it will be limited to only the 5 or 6 value. So you can also create array of 5, 6 and try to show in from one of the array. But this random color will generate from all the web colors which is possible. So with this random color, you cannot name it. If you want to name red blue, then create 10 colors in array and choose that one of the 10 colors. Then you can have the red blue. But with this random color, you don't have the color name. It's only the hex code. Yeah. So you have to create with this random, you cannot name it red blue kind of thing. That's what I want to just say. Okay. So those who want my code, whatever I've written, I created a link. I'm giving this link in the chat. You can go through the link, and it has both the version, normal vanilla JavaScript also, and the React code also. So that's all for today.